Hello, everyone. Welcome to the new year. Yeah. Ooh, 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 ooh. Now, I know a lot of astrologers are talking about what's going to be popping this year, right? That's like everybody. So I've got to be different. I will be talking about the big shifts that are going to be happening this year. And there are some massive shifts along with that Pluto and Aquarius that I've been talking so much about. But yeah, so there are big shifts. Big shifts in astrology means outer planets, planets that take a long time to go through each sign. Those mammer jammers that define generations are going to be shifting. So that's why there's a lot of stuff shifting in 2025. Most of us have already been experiencing huge shifts with that Pluto and Aquarius, friendships having to shift, power dynamics having to shift, um, our self-empowerment, right, having to shift, like shift from the power to the people, right? That's another thing that's going to be continuously developing. Today though, I want to talk about one of my favorite subjects to talk about, which is love. What? Yes, I mean ish anyway. Venus entered Pisces last night and she's gonna be there till like early February, yeah, till early February. So like all of January. Yay. Now, I kind of wish that she was alone in there. That way she could do all of her stuff. All of her stuff. So, what do I mean when I say Venus is in Pisces? People have it natally, right? I happen to have it natally. In fact, not only do I have Venus in Pisces, but she's also in the 12th house of Pisces that's ruled by Pisces. I have the most Pisces of all Pisces Venuses that ever Pisced and Venus, right? Like, so it's really helped me to understand a lot about things through this lens. So Venus in Pisces, what does that mean? Well, I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you some pictures, but really they're like themes of things that Venus really, really digs. So Venus is said to be exalted in the sign of Pisces. What that just means is that she has an easy time, an effortless time being super charming. What? I don't have it. Yes, I do. I have a really easy time being charming. Shut the fuck up. We all know it. I can say the craziest things and still get away with it because my Venus in Pisces is charming and pretty. That's the other thing I get. Whatever. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I get to be hot AF in this live at no matter the age. I'm just always that. Anyway, but it's not hot on a physical level, right? Not so much that. It's more of an attractiveness on a level that is heart centered, spirit centered, right? Like shiny soul centered is sort of what a Venus in Pisces really thinks about and cares about, right? She doesn't mind the flaws. She kind of loves them, right? Because she likes the heart and the soul of a person. That is what she like super cares about, right? Want me to show you some other things that Venus in Pisces cares about, or like even maybe even Pisces in general cares about? Well, first of all, let me get us on the correct spot over here. All right, cool. All right. I think I'm going to go here first. All right, let's try that. Boop, map. You get to watch me just boop and bap all over the place. All right. Venus in Pisces really loves baby animals. I would say Venus and Taurus also maybe outdoes me on Venus and on the adoration of baby animals, and maybe even just not animals. There's a respect in general for animals. The reason being is that you, oh my God, they're so yeah. You don't. They can't talk. They don't use verbal communication, right? No, you have to like read the energy, read the eyes, right? You're kind of reading what's beneath the surface. And that's a huge Pisces keyword. What is under the surface, right? Their face is saying this. But like on the inside, you're like looking and you know it means something else, right? All water signs are sort of able to see beneath the surface. Scorpio investigates that action, right? And Cancer likes to see it too and then cares super hard about it and can't sort of cut off the want of knowing things. They have to keep asking questions, even if it feels maybe invasive at times. Pisces is a fish, right? So anyway, with animals, you have to read them, read their body language, right? You're reading their eyes, you're reading their subtleties, right? You're reading beneath the surface because there's no words, right? Mercury and Pisces people tend to love to write poetry and music, right? Because they're trying to help you to get in touch with, connect with feelings, right? That expansive, ooh, I'm trying to think of like a poetry, right? Damn, nothing's coming to my mind. Read anything from Maya Angelou. She has a Mercury in Pisces and a Venus in Pisces, right? I know why the caged bird sings. See, the words itself, caged bird. Are we talking about a bird, Lacey? No, we're not. We're not talking about a bird, right? There, she's talking about a soul, right? She's talking about the feeling of being in captivity, right? And how it can be set free, how she can transcend. Hello, Venus and Pisces. But yes, so one of the things that Pisces loves, and specifically Venus and Pisces, is animals, and they also love soft things. I have this soft alpaca teddy bear that I've had for forever that I sort of a hug when I can't hug somebody in real life. I'll like hug my berry white. Um, yeah, he's been featured in some things before. But it's soft. It's soft, and no animals died in the making of it. And he's from Peru, so people made money off of it. I love. So another thing about Venus and Pisces is cultures. We love cultural. I put in like world music, right? Like cultural world music, because again, we have that Pisces vibe. And what do you enjoy? You enjoy music. And so I've got just some pictures of things around like music around the world, right? Drums, right? And it's cultural music. It's not like specific to any one place. Because there is this amount of I'm enjoying the culture of it. It's not exclusive, right? Pisces, and specifically Venus and Pisces, is not exclusive, right? When you're seeing, you want to give love to everyone. There's no one. I mean, my Venus and Pisces in the 12th house is more like no one. There's no one you can't not give your love to. But in general, I would say that there's a love of different types of music. Music in general is something, words in music is something that is loved, right, by Venus and Pisces and things like that. Flowers, right? That's also a Taurus thing, a Venus ruled sign. And about this world music, Libra, the other Venus ruled sign, it loves to initiate conversations, friendships, harmony. And it doesn't matter what language you speak, they speak smile, right? And, you're trying to get people to be in a frame of mind that they will sort of accept you or accept whatever it is that you're trying to bring across. It's like a bridging kind of vibe, Libra. It's initiators. So they have a very easy time being charming in any culture. Any culture, they can like show up and be charming. Because Venus, she cares about harmony. She cares about beauty. She cares about texture and softness and cuteness. And she cares about nature and flowers and pretty things and growth and things that make good food, right? Luxury food, right? Gourmet food is a thing that Venus and Pisces will like. And so as I'm saying these things, I think it is my hope that you will embrace experiencing some of these things in our world, right? Um, so for the month of January, can you touch something soft, right? Can you slow down, Taurus, right? So Taurus being the very sensual, Taurus also likes gemstones and stuff that grows from the earth, right? Luxury items, if you will. Venus and Pisces wants you to slow down, and she wants you to enjoy the pleasures that are right in front of you, right? The pleasures that you have access to. She will want to overspend to get some of that luxury and to get some of that action. Don't be a fool. Good news, Saturn's there too to kind of haul us back on overspending. It's nice. Thanks, Saturn. I'll talk about that too. But if you can, take time to breathe, right? Take time to, yeah, touch slowly. Think about your five senses. Think about what you're looking at. Eye candy, right? Beautiful nature, flowers, right? Allow yourself to look at beautiful, beautiful things, things that inspire beauty within you, no matter what it is. Touching things, right? So seeing, touching, hearing, listening to music, maybe that you've never listened to before. That's like drum music, right? I've been listening to a lot of drum music. I've been listening to a lot of like Buddhist flute music. I've been listening to a lot of world music. I love belly dancing music too. So like Middle Eastern music is really fun. But yeah, things with a beat, and they don't need words. I'm not listening to any words. They're all mostly just different music that the world I live in has to offer that I have on Spotify. So yay, I'm gonna listen to those things. But yeah, allow yourself nature walks. Allow yourself to put clothing on that feels beautiful, but that also feels soft. Don't get a whole bunch of stuff, just get one thing. One thing that feels super soft on your skin. I also luxuriate in like skincare stuff because I love skincare stuff and I love makeup. Those are kind of like Taurus seems to be like a skincare thing. They don't wear a whole lot of makeup all the time, like I know a lot of Taurus that aren't into that. And then Libra, on the other hand, is like, oh, what? Makeup, beauty. Yes. Right? So yeah, luxuriating, getting, some nice face wash, some nice smelling stuff. Oh my gosh, perfumes, right? Smells matter. Get some perfumes. And nothing has to be perfect. In fact, I was like, I have this beautiful like Pompeii purple nail color that I like super love because I'm in love with the colors pink, purple, fuchsia, and red, everything in between. And I like have been like chipping away at my nails, and I've got to like remove them. But again, here we have the you don't have to be flawless. Shut that fuck up. Venus doesn't care about looking flawless. Not really. She really cares that you feel harmonious, right? She really cares that you feel good. So how do you feel good when you don't feel good? Well, let's talk about that as well. So we've talked about the five senses, eating yummy, luxurious food that you make, growing it, right? So having good smells, listening to interesting, good music, putting nice stuff on your skin, right? I was thinking about festivals, right? So other cultures. So Venus and Pisces, it is not culturally specific, right? Pisces is the ocean. I wrote some keywords here. Actually, I have a doc. This is a doc that I'm totally going to share that I called Pisces flavors. I'm going to share this maybe in the description box. Can I make linkable stuff? I don't know if I can do like linkable stuff, but I wrote some words down that is like Pisces wants something to believe in, not just something to think about, ability to pour yourself into another's shoes. So That's what I mean by like cultural, right? Can you pour yourself into their shoes? Look at that fun, right? Look at that. Yes. It's the ability to empathize, right? And feel what somebody else feels. And you can feel in Pisces, you feel what the other person feels, but it doesn't stay there. It's kind of constantly floating. It's the ocean, right? On the ocean, there's the surface, and it looks like the waves are going this way, but then there's undercurrents underneath the waves that are going an opposite direction, right? You'll see lines sometimes in ocean waters, where there's like one current going one way, right? So Pisces is floating everywhere, right? It's sort of like the subconscious. It is connectivity. What connects all of the continents? The friggin' ocean. Pisces, right? It wants to connect everyone. And it wants to be a hero in doing so too. So Pisces is also identified with being a hero. So I pulled up movies because I was trying to think of like heroic movies, or like, how do I show heroes? I was Googling image searches for like heroes, and then it would give me like quotes, or it would give me like comic books, which is like, obviously those are all, yes, I get them. But the kind that I'm thinking of is, excuse me, this sacrifice, right? Sacrificing oneself for another's good or for the greater good, right? Where it's like, oh, I held back because for me to move forward with what I wanted, right? For me to move forward with my endeavors, my vision, right? With what I want, I can tell, would not mesh well with another person's beliefs, right? In the poly community, you see this a lot, where you're like, ooh, my rules are not their rules, right? So why should I stop myself for rules I don't have, right? They should be able to stop themselves, right? If you're the one who has the boundaries, the borders, and the rules, then you should be able to stop yourself, right? But it's not as cut and dry as that. You do have to consider, when you're going to be intimate, you do have to consider another person's feelings or how it might map out. A Pisces can't stand the thought of hurting feelings, cannot, right? A Venus in Pisces can forgive a little bit more because she's like, whatever, she'll try and charm and smooth it over because she's like, you don't see how, wow, we grew from this, but still, right? So it's the concern for someone else. So I was thinking of heroism. What is like heroism? And I was thinking of movies, right? So there's some movies that came up: Schindler's List, Braveheart, when he's making that like, compelling speeches and things like that. Hacksaw Ridge, if you haven't seen that, it's pretty good. It was a really sweet movie. Actually, my boys loved it. My boys actually love all these movies. They were raised by a Venus and Pisces mother. It's like a hero, right? Um, but yeah, so heroism, and so that sacrifice, right, for everyone else, right? It's also the theme, if you think about it, it's also the theme of like every religion ever, right? You've got one main person, a man in the world I live in. The world I live in has mainly men men throughout history, who were written about because they're men, who, gosh, there's so many words that you could call these things, right? Prophets, you can call them prophets, you can call them demigods, right? Like Hercules, like older, right? They were called demigods. Called people who were trying to, or who were being very successful at not being caught up in the world, but kind of transcending it, right? Take them by little here, right? When I think of worship, I put in the word worship, right? And then it's all church. Why? Because I live in the States, and this is like the big thing, right? In the States, if you live in the States, when you think of worship, your main thought is Christianity. It's also my roots, so I understand this better, right? But this is also a Venus and Pisces things, because what you are doing is loving the soul of something, the soul of a person, or you are loving the heroic endeavors of a person. What makes a person great? What makes a person whole? What makes a person feel full, feel enriched and enlightened, right? That's what it is. And so when you have these people, what all these people have in common, I'm pulling up Islam here too, right? What they all have in common here is they're all doing the same thing, right? Everybody's doing the same thing. There's something in sync. So there's something to say about the power of worship, or everyone in agreement around some spiritual ideals or some spiritual rules, right? Spiritual stuff. It's only like the hugest concept ever that I'm like trying to describe in, less than an hour, because I can talk forever and get lost on this subject. But Venus and Pisces, right? Or Pisces, it wants everyone to be together. It doesn't care what you call Allah, right? It doesn't care what you call enlightenment, nirvana. It doesn't care what you call God, right? It doesn't care. If I could scream that any louder, I would. What it cares about is the soul or the intention behind something. I've known a million assholes who claim to be a part of a religion that is supposed to be loving. Millions of them. That is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about transcending that, right? We're coming to a time where it's going to be no longer acceptable to be an asshole. You're no longer going to be able to be like, well, my God's alive and yours is dead. You know what I mean? Like things that I'll hear, right? Or, pitting each other against each other, right? Like, no, those times are over. We are leaving those times behind. What we are coming to is what connects us all, what unites us all, right? What harmonizes us all. You don't need to use words. Pisces doesn't care about the words. That's why it'll use music, right? That's why it'll use stories, right? That's why we'll use poetry, right? Because you're trying to get someone outside of this locked box of matrix that we're in. So what I'm kind of hoping for, I guess, is to give a bit of hope for the future, a bit of hope for as you're experiencing this Venus and Pisces time. Saturn is in Pisces too right now, which means Saturn likes to look at old things. What has been around for forever that we all have in common that helps us to rise above, to elevate, to accept the motion of all the ways that the ocean has in it, right? That the seas have in them, right? That is what we're getting to. Neptune is in Pisces right now too, and that is the highest octave of Venus, right? That's the highest octave of Pisces, right? That one is really about transcendence. And when we get to like January, end of January, right? Like January 25th, 6th, like 27th to like Venus and Neptune are going to meet up. They're going to meet up early February, like February 1st, which that's going to be a really beautiful time. I wonder if we'll see like more music coming out about what unites us, what unites the world more than what separates us, where there might be more of a look or a push to that, which I hope so. I hope so hard. This is what you tear up about. A Venus and Pisces tears up about uniting impossible odds, right? These odds were fucking impossible. And this animal united them. This song, this attitude, right? This person willing to be wrong or mistaken, willing to take rejection, was badass enough to say what they really believed. So what I'm looking forward to in this new year, and especially during this time in Pisces, is to be grateful for all of the little moments, all the little things, all the little touches, all the little kisses, all the little like everything, right? All the pretty glittery things that I already have. It doesn't even need to be added to, right? Nobody owns the nature. Nobody owns flowers, you know? Or I mean, you can own flowers, but you know what I mean? You know what I mean. But yes, if you find yourself feeling down, look at pictures, right? Look at pictures. If you're going to use the internet for anything this month, use it for finding the good in things, what unites us, what connects us. Please, 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 please do those things. Look at the commonalities between cultures, right? Look at the commonalities between cultures, right? Look at all the things. Look at this mess right here, right? I know that's like I know what this is actually. This is a Kamadeva, I think, right? It's like a ritual. Was it Denali? Is that what it is? I think. I know that when you're throwing colors on each other, Kamadeva was the one of the Indian gods of love and romance, and so they're throwing colors on each other to celebrate. I mean, it's deeper than that, actually. I think Kamadeva was the only one who got. Oh, I'm gonna mess it up because I don't know the history of it well enough. But Kamadeva was the only one to get one of the greater gods out of meditation, and he did it by like love, you know. Anyway, beautiful festival. You can look it up. I wasn't thinking about sharing that today specifically. I just saw the picture and went, oh, but I love that, right? You see things and you're like, oh, I've read about that. That's so cool, you know. So please look about what unites us, right? Uh, think about what you want others to reflect back to you. So if we are all mirrors and reflections of the cosmos, right? Of deity, the divine, right? Of God, of Allah, of all of the God, Brahman, right? I think that's the one. Yes. What's the other one? Any and all of them that you can think of. And does every religion have some like fucked up shit in it? Yes, yes, they all do. They all do. But don't think about those parts. Think about the other parts. Think about the parts that unite. So when you find yourself being triggered by someone this month, right? And you all have that feeling. In my body, it feels like hot heat will come out. I'll start to sweat a little bit. So heating, that's Mars energy, actually. That's fighting or fucking. So when you feel Mars coming on, right? So Mars in the body feels like hot, heat. I have a lot of energy. I need to go exercise. I need to fight or fuck something, right? That's Mars energy. So when you start to feel that Mars, the counterbalance, the counterweight, the counter to Mars is Venus. And Venus is, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to win. You don't have to misshape yourself to do anything. You know, all you have to do is be, right? So when you find yourself being triggered, feeling uncomfortable in your body, right? Stop and reflect. Ask yourself, why do I think this person is outside of myself or isn't a part of me in some way, right? Everybody who's around you is a part of you, is a reflection of you in some way. Reflect the good shit. Reflect the goodness. Reflect the highest vibe. I'm never gonna stop beating that drum, right? Reflect the highest vibe. Reflect the best version, right? If you are thinking negative thoughts about someone else, they are going to mirror that and reflect that back at you. When you're getting ready to engage in a fight, they're going to reflect that back at you, right? And sometimes fights are unavoidable. But respect can be implanted there, right? A good fight is one where both people respect each other. They're not trying to win. I'm not trying to outdo you. I'm not trying to dominate you, right? Unless you're doing a physical fight and that's the point of it. And you're like, damn, you got me, bro. That was so good, right? There is definitely good ways of fighting. I love that action, in fact. But Highest vibe, be your highest vibe. Meditate on that, right? In your quiet moments, when you are alone. And if you have any Aquarius in you, please be alone. Please find alone time to turn everything off and be alone. But find a quiet moment, breathe, right? Get yourself sort of grounded and centered. Hard breathing out can help with aggressive feelings or thoughts. If you find yourself judging yourself or someone else, another good thing, right? Pushing the air out. It also make you feel lightheaded. So slowing it down, petting your pet alpaca, teddy bear, because that brings delight. Playing with your hair, soft, amazing hair, whatever, brings delight too. For me, anyway, it brings delight to me. Holding on to jewelry that came from someplace. This was my grandmother's chain, and then this was my great grandmother's. These are both hers. So wearing something that is old, that you got from, that you inherited, anything, it could be anything that you inherited, but holding on to something and thinking about that person. And hopefully it'll make you cry, because it'll definitely make me cry. Water signs, we're always going to have tears. There's going to be tears when you think about these things. But yes, enjoying this time as much as possible, reflecting as much as possible on, if you're seeing something negative in someone else, then you're seeing it in yourself ultimately. And you don't have to be ready, right? Just because if somebody's triggering you, you don't have to stay there and be like, Lacey said I have to like stay here and take it. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying be in a good place, right? You know how that feels because you won't feel tight, right? Feeling at ease feels expansive. It feels even. It feels slower or medium, right? It doesn't feel fast. It doesn't feel like, oh, I gotta do it. I gotta convince, right? It doesn't have to convince, you know. But in your quiet moments, or anytime you look at the face of your babies, right? Or another baby, if you have them and if you love them, right? Anytime you look at your fur babies, right? Cup their little faces, cup their little faces and pet them, right? That's very Venus in Pisces. And anytime you take the high road, that's a Venus in Pisces. Anytime you're confronted with someone who has diabolically different views than you have, right? And you're like, I can't be in the same, if you can't be in the same room with that person, God, give yourself that permission. But if you can, and you find yourself in a space of respect with somebody and they have different views, then navigate that with an eye and a heart on Venus. So in your body, making sure that you feel calm, making sure that you feel grounded, making sure that you feel like you're in the mood to harmonize, not to fight, making sure that you're in a space of loved and held. So the way that a Venus in Pisces does this is actually by having a tight connection with the divine, a tight connection with the divine. And that can be so many other things. I know I realized I started to go through and like share my screen. And I realized, oh yeah, I'm not sharing my screen, but a tight connection with the divine, a tight connection with Most High, your most highest self, right? So if you can connect with something outside of yourself, and that is what does it, awesome. I think we all know it. The way that it feels in my body when I'm connecting with divine, with God, right? With spirit, with source, with Allah, right? With all those things. And I hope not, it doesn't matter. All the terms one can think of to describe God, right? All the terms one can think of, right? In the body, it feels like nothing's impossible. It feels like expansive. It feels like I am getting love from someplace outside of myself, and that love has much fruit on it. And it has so much fruit that it's overflowing, and it can be given to others, or else it'll drop, right? It feels like there's nothing you can do wrong to insult me. There's nothing you can do to make me hate you. There's nothing you can do uh, because everything is covered. Every sin is covered, right? That is when I know I'm connecting to the divine. When the person I'm talking to, I'm in a space of it's not coming from my cup, it's coming from me channeling something else, right? Channeling a higher spirit, a higher sort of higher consciousness. Consciousness is an awesome word for it. So this January, think of ways in which you have been taught about the divine, about love, about what unconditional love means, about what forgiving yourself means. Put that mask on, forgive yourself first. It'll carry over into everyone else. That forgiveness can do that. So you have to forgive yourself first. But yes, healing thoughts, pleasure thoughts, the giver of pleasure, right? The giver of pleasure, the giver of touch, right? And everyone can give touch to someone. Not everyone likes touch, so please ask for consent. But touching is a way of soothing that. Venus is queen of touching. I've been practicing that at Broadcast, the Femmes and Femmes group that's super beneficial here in Portland that I go to, experiencing touching people in intimate ways, but that aren't necessarily overtly sexual, but are pleasurable with different textures like feathers. Ooh, yeah, when you touch people, touch them with, feathers and soft things and fluffy things and hard things. Because pleasure and pain kind of go hand in hand, and Venus can wield both. And then when you have your eye on sort of divine purpose, and divine wants to connect everyone. When you find that you are in separation, or you're feeling separate from other people, or you're putting yourself above other people, or you're putting other people above yourself, separation is not the key of Venus, right? That's not the key of the divine. The key of the divine is to connect, because the ocean connects. How am I the ocean right now? Am I connecting? Am I finding ways to connect? Water can get into any crevice. Anything that falls into water will be hit by water, right? So it's encompassing, it's surrounding, it's capable of taking everything. Oh my gosh, I could go on forever about this. I really hope that this has been helpful for you all. If you take anything away, it is, slow down, touch stuff, right? Touch things that you want to touch, touch in ways you want to touch others in ways that you want to touch them, right? And what is the highest octave of love? What is the highest consciousness you can muster or think of? And when fears come out, look at it through the lens of the divine, through the lens of unconditional love, right? Look at it through the lens of enlightenment. All right. I'll be back next week talking about more, seeing how y'all are doing. This week should be pretty good this coming week, because Venus just went into Pisces. She's not close enough to Saturn yet to kind of completely cram her vibe. But yes, I hope that you engage in playfulness and in high-minded thoughts, and practicing sacrificing, right? Practicing forgiveness, practicing self-love, self-care, so that it overflows onto others, or that you're channeling it from source. That's what needs to happen. If you're giving too much and you feel depleted, that is you giving from yourself, not from source. So channeling into source is, it's not me. I'm being a channel for this right now, but this abundant source is coming from my connection with the Most High Spirit. All right. I'm going to stop talking, because I could just keep meandering for forever. Thank you so much for listening to me. Please listen to me. I don't know what I'm going to look like on the other side of this year because of all the changes. So stay tuned, I guess. Practice love. Thank you so much. Bye.